Welcome to part 1 of 3 in this series about obtaining happiness. I wanted to put this lecture out there for people hoping that it might help them in their process. Also, I will tie this into gardening at the end of the third part. So let's get started. Step 1 to happiness, decide you want it. So we go through life, we identify ourselves in different ways as we grow. A person with a cool car, the musician, a person with a good job, the artist, a parent, a family man. At some point, the things we thought made us, that made our identity, are not creating happiness. Perhaps you have a job working with people in a city as you conform to time parameters, and you realize a lack of fulfillment. Well, let's look at who we think we are in this lifestyle. And let's say you describe yourself as the investment cubicle worker with a cool car, house, and family. Well, is this you? How did you get here? You remember being a child, the experience that you came from, and the development to who you are. You were, let's say, most happy when you were playing as a child in the woods, as an introvert, with no responsibilities. Say, telling time by the sun and playing in a stream. Well, this is who you were. This is how you identified happiness at that time. And that didn't go away. That's still a part of you. So know who you are. Where did you come from and what experiences created your perceptions are key. So if you are a, let's say, introvert plays in woods, what the hell are you doing in the city in a cubicle working with people? If you transcend your self-identification as this person with a cool car, because cars get old quick, job, house, whatever, and realize that you are just a plays in the woods, then realizing happiness should be pretty easy. Go play in the woods. Get your family, move to the woods, and live in a way that resonates with who you really are. You'll have happiness. But you have to know yourself and make changes that are right for who you really are. Part of this process could be aided by identifying yourself as simply a human on the earth in pursuit of happiness, rather than all those other anything external. Look at any bad habits you've acquired along the way. Did you have those as a child? Are they really you? Or are they reactions? Do you want health and happiness? You might have some thinking to do. You might need to decide. Don't forget the negative created us as well. But I think we can heal this. If we had negative experiences in our childhood, let's just say maybe all of our toys were stolen as a child. And so we fear our things being stolen as an adult too. I've known many people like this. We could look back at our childhood and think, I must fear this because of that occurrence. You could also realize that in the present, no one is planning on stealing your toys. And the result of all this from your experience as a kid is not in line with reality. This example could be expanded maybe to other things. Now, everything we don't approve of in our current lives, we most likely allowed in. I think when you start to know yourself and what you want and have decided you want more positivity or happiness, you then look around at a life built mostly from reacting to life. And the thing is, it can't all be changed immediately. There's been an elaborate change of events bringing you to who you are now. I think all we can do is, with an awareness of who we are and what we want, we can make a series of small choices that will accumulate to lead us in the direction we desire. Like, if you passionately want to travel at your very core, don't buy a bunch of milk cows that need attention every day and most likely won't travel well. Perhaps the first step is in the actual deciding you want more happiness. You may then have, and I think this is very important to actually decide, you may then have the resolve for the time and introspection required for the journey towards knowing accepting yourself. try to identify what you like and don't like to do and why. But beware, nature hates a void, and making space may actually draw complication. It seems like when I've tried to just clear everything, more random and cluttery, complicated things flooded into my life. So it seems to me we shouldn't eliminate things that we don't like in life as much as fill life with the things that we do like. But I wonder how much genetic predisposition has to do with the desire to move towards happiness in one's life. I also wonder how much brain chemistry could affect optimism, or is optimism a chosen type of logic? Now, Einstein said something interesting. The single most important decision any of us will ever make is whether or not to believe that the universe is friendly. And I think this quote is poignant to this whole topic and lecture. I think the main thing that we need to do is that right there. To decide. The universe is a friendly place. I want more happiness, and I'll start to make changes. But I think that's step 2, making the changes. I think we need to really look at this step 1 and the actual decision to perceive things in a positive way and to move towards happiness. So I imagine that making Einstein's decision there would lead you to this disposition. Here's a quote. I'm still determined to be cheerful and happy in whatever situation I may be, for I have also learned from experience that the greater part of our happiness or misery depends upon our dispositions, and not upon our circumstances. And that was Martha Washington. So I was looking more at the kind of there's only one success, to spend our life in our own way, sort of a perspective. But I think we need to learn a little bit from Einstein and Martha Washington on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up now. That was part 1 of 3. Step 1, deciding that we want more happiness. Here's a couple more quotes, and then I'll go ahead and end this. To love is to suffer. To avoid suffering, one must not love. But when one suffers from not loving, therefore to love is to suffer. Not to love is to suffer. To suffer is to suffer. To be happy is to love. To be happy, then, is to suffer. But suffering makes one unhappy. Therefore, to be happy one must love, or love to suffer, or suffer from too much happiness. And I think that was from Woody Allen. Kind of confusing, but funny. And one last one. Happiness is like a butterfly. The more you chase it, the more it may elude you. But if you turn your attention to other things, it comes and sits softly on your shoulder. That was from Henry David Thoreau. Well, we'll stop here, and make sure to check out part 2 and 3 of this series for the real meat of this topic. I've also posted lots of other videos you might want to check out on my channel page. If you like them, please subscribe, and have a good day.